Hey lovely people out there, how are you all doing? This is your Staggered Nikita and welcome back to Nikki's Staggered YouTube channel. As we all know that Saturn has made its move into the sign of Aquarius on 17th of January 2023, which is giving rise to a very specific, significant and impactful transit, also known as the Dhaiyya of Saturn or the ASHTAMA Shani Transit of Saturn for all the Cancer moon sign natives. And we are going to discuss its in detail impact, guidance, and analysis for all the Cancer moon sign natives. Me being a Gemini moon, I just completed my ASHTAMA Shani transit, and when I was going through it, trust me, it made me evolve as an individual, and that is why I thought that making this special video for all the Cancer moon sign natives will be of great help. All right, so if you are a person with Cancer moon, or you know your near and dear ones who have their moon placed in the sign of Cancer, then don't forget to watch this video, share this with them so that they receive the timely guidance. Now, I'm not making this video to spread any fear mongering. All right, Ashtama Shani transit is when the moon, wherever your moon is placed, Saturn transits from the 8th house from your moon sign, which is going to happen for the Cancer moon sign natives during this time. All right, the next 2.5 years of life. So this is a period of transformation, and it's always great when you receive the timely guidance. All right, so astrology is a science, and it helps you with all the tools, techniques, predictions, and guidance to make our lives better. And this is what I want to do through this video as well. So stay tuned till the end. And if you want to take a professional consultation from me regarding your horoscope, then you can send an email to nikkistagite@gmail.com, and all the details are given in the description section. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now let's try to understand the significance of the Ashtama Shani transit. During the Dhaiyya of planet Saturn, a native is likely to go through some kind of inner turmoil, as if the churning of the ocean is taking place. The mind constantly wobbles, gets confused, and the changes are likely to take place in the mental front. One starts to recognize the depth and sensitivity of their own mind. New revelations regarding what's possible or impossible, and what and exactly who is good for you and who isn't, will be revealed to you. According to my personal experience, the Ashtama Shani transit comes with an puzzle to be solved. So Saturn, what it does is it puts you in a puzzle, and you have to join the pieces of the puzzle over the 2.5 years of period. As we progress in the Dhaiyya of Saturn, the puzzle starts to become easier. The events, the confusion, the exhaustion, the mental confusion starts to make sense. At the end, we learn our lesson. We become wiser, calmer, composed, and close to our inner reality. Saturn kind of makes us see the illusions that we were carrying around since a long time when it's transit through the 8th house from the natal moon. Being the significator of the 8th house, it kind of shatters the mental ground based on which we were making decisions previously. And now we suddenly feel a sense of urge to break that reality and to take a plunge into the unknown. We were seeing the world through a different lens altogether, and when we complete the Dhaiyya of Saturn, we feel as if we are a new person. The Dhaiyya of Saturn is a period of deep introspection, realizations, and meaningful revelations. A common theme or a feeling of being put in a mess or a puzzle is constantly observed during this period of Saturn, according to my personal experience and observations. Saturn is the Karaka of the 8th house, so it's not here to make our lives difficult. Rather, it creates pressure around the ignored aspects, the illusions in our personality and life. Why so? Because only then we humans start to ask questions and start to get rid of the old so that the new energy can flow through us. By the time you all will complete the Dhaiyya of Saturn, you become more self-reliant, and there will be a newly found sense of judgment and inner confidence that you can handle anything thrown in your way. Now let's try to understand how the ASHTAMA SHANI transit is going to impact the Cancer moon sign natives. Now Cancer is the natural 4th house of the Kalpurush Kundali, as we all know, whereas Aquarius is the natural 11th house sign of the Kalpurush Kundali. Planet Saturn and Moon hold the exact opposite rulership of the zodiac signs in the Kalpurush Kundali axis, that is the Cancer Capricorn axis. Hence, Saturn exhibits exactly opposite of all things that are represented or governed by the Moon. Moon is unsteady, fast moving, and its major focus and emphasis on enjoyment factor or the softer aspects of life, right? It represents our mind, the way we think or see the world. Whereas Saturn is the Karma Karaka. It is cold-natured planet. It represents our duties, responsibilities, the harsh reality of the life, right? Saturn is a slow-moving planet. Hence, for the Cancer moon sign natives, the first thing Saturn will do during its Dhaiyya is to create delays and hindrances in their imagination power. There can be fluctuations in your willpower. Cancer moon sign natives are highly thoughtful and sensitive, also susceptible to the surrounding energies. Hence, the main lesson for the Cancer moon sign natives is to learn to guard your sensitive energies. Otherwise, during the ASHTAMA SHANI transit, it can create unnecessary confusion, mental blockages, irritation, habits like cribbing, and getting into unnecessary arguments. Now let's try to understand the exact meaning and impact of the ASHTAMA SHANI transit for all the Cancer moon sign natives out there with the help of a 3 key step formula which will help you, which will guide you and teach you how to cope up with this transit of Saturn. So the number one point here is to develop emotional agility. Cancer moon sign natives have a higher percentage of emotional awareness as compared to other signs, as they are being ruled by planet Moon, and Moon governs the emotions. But they are also prone to carry it away or get overwhelmed or overburdened because of excessive thinking. Being highly susceptible to taking everything by heart, the current period of ASHTAMA SHANI transit will teach them how to harness their emotions without letting it overwhelm them. Cancer moon sign natives naturally feel everything deeply. So one of the challenge to deal with during Saturn's stay in Aquarius could be to feel hot and cold, to experience fluctuating emotions. And Saturn here can increase your mental pressure, resulting in irritation. Learning to manage your emotional well-being is going to be number one priority, should be your number one priority, all the Cancer moon sign natives. So avoid getting easily overwhelmed, but make sure not to forget being in your own skin as well. Your empathetic and emotional, nurturing nature helps you stand out from the crowd. So let Saturn mold you into a better person, but not necessarily a different person altogether. You have to keep this in mind and have that emotional agility in you. The second point on our list is being of service to the family. Saturn here will test you by putting some additional responsibilities on your shoulder in terms of familial matters. Cancer moon sign natives are born with heavy karma towards their family, but during the Dhaiyya of Saturn especially, you would be asked to lead at least one major aspect or sector of your familial matters. There can also be differences of opinion in terms of wealth asset management or financial management, or you might find yourself in need of convincing your family members in terms of certain familial matters. So avoid having major disputes and handle the situation with diplomacy and calmness. The Dhaiyya of Saturn comes with a puzzle to be solved over a long period of time. So dealings with family and pressure at the place of work will be one of the major theme to watch out for the Cancer moon sign natives. Number 3 on our list is embracing transformation. The major significance of the ASHTAMA SHANI transit is to let Saturn take you on a long journey of shattering illusions about self and others through various experiences which pop up in your life all of a sudden. Or Some of the suppressed issues that you have been carrying around since a long time suddenly come to the surface, and now you have got no option than to address them with patience, persistence, and through consistent action. Be open and receptive to getting transformed into a new, evolved version of yourself. The process might seem to be exhausting at times. Mental exhaustion is usually experienced during the Dhaiyya of Saturn or the ASHTAMA Shani Transit, especially emotionally. And you find yourself in some kind of loop or repetitive patterns which are rather hard to be solved or to make sense of. The sooner you realize what Saturn wants you to learn, the better it would be for you to let Saturn guide you towards the change. So, my number one advice to all the Cancer moon sign natives will be, do not resist Saturn. Go with the flow, live normally, enjoy life like you do always, and do not compromise the self care activities that help you thrive as a human, especially as a Cancer moon sign native. Simply observe what you need to get better at and work on it every single day. Now, let's talk about the aspects of planet Saturn, especially for the Cancer moon sign natives. The third aspect on the sign of Aries, which is the 10th house of your horoscope when we consider it from your moon chart. All right. So Saturn will cast its third aspect on the 10th house of your horoscope from your moon sign. It indicates that your mind will be constantly focused or can even be worried about the safety and security factor of your career or your reputation. Good thing is that Aries is the sign of self, right? It is the first house sign of the Kalpurush Kundali. So the more you are putting in efforts towards the betterment of your career or your public image, the easier it would be to keep things positive in terms of your career matters. Watch out for the dignity of Mars throughout these 2.5 years. So whenever Mars is strong in transit, it will help you in realizing and executing your goals, ambitions appropriately. Saturn can either temporarily block your ability to put in efforts towards your career, or it can make you run 24/7 towards attaining success or stability. The seventh aspect of planet Saturn will fall on the second house of your horoscope from your moon sign, where the sign of Leo is posited. The seventh aspect of Saturn on the second house from your moon sign indicates a major transformation being triggered in your personality through bringing change in your values, in your familial life, in the familial dynamic, and your eating habits are likely to get transformed during this time. Mainly, the changes will be noticed in terms of your self-esteem and self-image related matters. Saturn can give you investment related troubles, or you are prone to getting into debates with other people because of differences of opinion and perspective. There is a possibility of having differences with your father or a male figure in your family. Manage your wealth assets mindfully during this time. The 10th aspect of planet Saturn will fall on the 5th house of your horoscope, where the sign of Scorpio is situated. The 10th aspect of Saturn on your 5th house of horoscope from the moon sign indicates major events related to education, progeny related matters, investment, and returns. If you are someone who regularly invests in the stock market, then this time period is going to be crucial for you. All the past life merits will also be activated during this time because of Saturn's 10th house aspect. Saturn wants you to understand your past karma and that the fruits that you are getting in this present moment are the result of the same. So there will be a lot of major revolution and transformation and realizations happening for you in terms of your life path, in terms of your education, in terms of your luck factor, or I would say how much destiny supports you, favors you, and what can be done to enhance the same. So during this time, you have to invest mindfully. Think about the long-term gains. Saturn being in the sign of Aquarius, which is the 11th house of the Kalpurush Kundali, right? It is all about gains, including financial gains, aspecting the second house of wealth assets, and then the sign of Scorpio as well, which is all about other people's resources. So there can be major themes related to financial matters that can play out during ASHTAMA SHANI transit of Saturn for Cancer moon sign natives.